Welcome back. Jason Zone Fisher, Sean Little, Katie Heinel with you on the final night of the NBA regular season here in the association. Playoff seeding and the playoff picture starting to cement itself as these games are going final. Earlier today, the Toronto Raptors got a big win at home over the Brooklyn Nets to clinch the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. This is a team that we saw a week ago slipping into that play-in territory, really getting worried that they were headed in the wrong direction. A big win and a big final week for them to secure their spot as the 5 seed. They will face off against the Cleveland Cavaliers in a first-round matchup. Let's take a look at how they were able to get it done earlier today against the Brooklyn Nets. Some highlights here. Scottie Barnes had a triple-double in this one, and both R.J. Barrett and Brandon Ingram scoring over 25 points in this game. Katie, you know the Raptors better than most being up there in Toronto. How would you define this season's team for the Toronto Raptors?
Formative, I would say, because this was the proof, right, that new front office, Bobby Webster in charge now, Masai Ujiri out. I think a lot of moving parts last season still. Getting Brandon Ingram wasn't healthy. There was not a lot of clarity in terms of what this looked like. Was the proof there? And then it very quickly showed that it was. And I think a huge part of that was because of guys like R.J. Barrett, who I think heard, people talking, was he gone? Were they going to trade him? No, but he showed up. Brandon Ingram has showed up. Scottie Barnes has obviously really changed his role and taken a lot more on his shoulders. So it's been a very formative season for them. This is the new look Raptors that I think Toronto had been promised for so many seasons. So I'm very curious to see how they kind of temper this identity in the postseason.
Well, they're facing the Cleveland Cavaliers team who came in with NBA Finals aspirations. It was an up and down season for the Cleveland Cavaliers, many different lineups, not fully healthy, but they're starting to get healthy as the postseason is going to roll around. Sean, as you know, I'm a big-time Cavs fan. What should Cavs fans be watching for, potentially worried about, maybe even concerned with this Toronto Raptors team in a first-round matchup?
Just the physicality. I would love to see Cleveland bang around with a team like the Toronto Raptors and impose their will. That's always been the question the last couple of years with the two bigs and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. You now add a James Harden, who we know is very decorated in the regular season, but has improved it in the postseason. Impose your will, bang around, be physical, and dominate and show, how you're going to be in the come playoff time with this new look Cavs team, and then build off that momentum. Just almost like just a very tough, no nonsense Cavs team. That's what I want to see from Cleveland as they play Toronto.
All right, well, the Toronto Raptors are going to start turning their attention and focus to the Cleveland Cavaliers as they get ready for that first-round matchup. But now, as they reflect on Game 82 and a regular season where they won 46 games, let's hear from the head coach of the Toronto Raptors. Here's Darko.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Darko, we talked about it a little bit before, but now that you made it to the playoffs, a 5th seed, given the goals setting you did in the year, how would you express how you feel about it?
Yeah, before I answer that, I want to wish happy Easter to all Orthodox Christians celebrating today. Hristos Vaskrse i srećan praznik. Yes, so we just found out that with Boston beating Orlando, that we're going to be the 5th seed. Obviously, that was not. We never set a goal of get this seed or that seed. We were just focusing on our work, focusing on things that are in our control, and the hands played out well for us this year. We won 46 games, 16 games more than last season. We saw a lot of growth from this roster, and the best part of it is that we're going to have opportunity to play in the playoffs, and as much as all of those games meant to put us in the playoffs, it's going to be an amazing experience for our team to go in the playoffs. And we're just going to take one game at a time as well. So our mentality is not going to change. We're going to try to win one game and then to win this next game and see where we end up.
I know, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know the playoffs will be a new step, but just considering the regular season, what are you most proud of regarding your group?
I'm very thankful of the men that we have in that room, of the character of that group, togetherness. I'm very thankful that I had a chance this season to coach the group that came together and really wanted to compete for each other and to help each other on the court. 1 through 18, all of the players, including two ways, they had a buy-in into the culture, into the team, into togetherness, and that's what carried us over the course of the whole year.
Brandon, this was a big goal of yours coming here last year, and in the preseason. How does it feel to kind of the way it played out and the kind of way you were able to contribute to this team coming back to the playoffs?
Yeah, it felt good. You notice the difference between the start of the year and where we are right now. Amazing accomplishment to make it to the playoffs, and I think now we just got to reset and try to figure out the best way to win in this first round.
What's the biggest difference between where you were and where you are, do you feel?
From the beginning of the season, more chemistry on the team, more direction offensively and defensively, and more of a focus on how to win each and every basketball game.
This was something that you had talked about even before training camp. When we talked to you in July back in Vegas, you talked about playoffs being something that you had your mind set on. Why was that something that you were so confident in even back then before you guys were able to get together for camp?
Well, I saw the team before I integrated into it. I saw how hard everyone worked, the care factor from every player, 1 through 15, even the coaching staff, how they adjust game to game, the focus on the defensive end, and letting it transition to the offensive end. And I thought if I could step into the fold and be effective, that we would be right where we are today.
What have you told some of the younger guys that haven't been through the experience before, or what will you be telling them over the next week, just in terms of how playoff basketball is different from what they've already experienced?
Whatever each player is good at, and how they've been effective all year. We need it consistently on a night-to-night basis. It's time to tighten up and, recovery, sleep, nutrition, and having a focus when we get out on the basketball floor, so everybody is fresh and just ready to play their role.
How happy are you to avoid the play-in, given you've had to do it so many times, just go right to the playoffs?
It's a time that we can get some rest and reset. I'm happy about it. We got a couple days before we got to step back on the floor again, so rest is always good.
Brendan, Darko has said in the past that his scouts or the Raptors have scouted teams extra hard this year and put a little bit more detail into game plans. Has that been your experience from your perspective, and does that give you confidence heading into a playoff series, seeing how capable this coaching staff is of that?
Yeah, like I said, it's a care factor, and everybody has an input in what we do. So I'm sure Scottie will have some say-so, the coaches will have some say-so, every one of the players will have a say-so in what we do in these next few days and leading up to game one. So, I'm confident about where our team is right now and how we can go into game one and the rest of the playoffs, and we'll see how we continue to adjust from game to game.
Brandon, Jamal Shead played in all 82 games in the regular season. How important is it for you and your teammates to have someone who's always there, who's always consistently on the floor, especially when they're a point guard?
Yeah, well, he's the head of the snake, especially for the second group. He's started some this year, and to be available is the best thing, knowing that somebody's going to be there consistently doing the same thing every single night, defensive intensity, running the team. So, that's special to do, especially how hard he plays every single night.
Brandon, with all the work that you put in on your health, what's it mean to you to have played 75, 76 games this season?
Credit to the training staff, credit to my coaches, managing me the right way, checking on me, doing the right things in the weight room, off the court, on the court. Just credit to them for, putting me in the best place.
Do you find that this medical staff has, something that stands out above, other teams you've been on?
I guess the attention to detail, them really listening to me about how I really feel, knowing when to be on the floor, when to back off. I think it's just constant communication, and, we just work from there.
Thanks, Brandon. Congrats. Thank you.
25-9 tonight from Brandon Ingram, a great regular season for him and the Toronto Raptors, who secured the number 5 seed and a first-round matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers, a team that Toronto had their number this season. They haven't played in quite a while, but they played against Cleveland very well. Sean, for the Toronto Raptors to upset the Cleveland Cavaliers and win that first-round playoff series, who's going to have to really stand out and carry this Toronto team?
Yeah, the guy we just heard from, Brandon Ingram, he handles the rock and is going to have to score quite a bit. So that's going to be the key guy for them. And they're going to have to figure out this time off. I think Darko said it, NBI said it. Them making the playoffs in the automatic bid, not having to deal with the play-in, gives them time to prepare. They only have 5 road wins against playoff teams. 2 of those, though, are against Cleveland, even though it was quite a while ago. They aren't that good on the road. They haven't been very good on the road since the turn of the year, especially. Take this time to figure out a way to, how are you going to attack Cleveland in their building? Because Scotiabank's going to be rocking. Katie will be there screaming, but professionally. Mentally, she'll be locked in. She'll keep it professional. But in all seriousness, Scotiabank is going to be a very difficult place for Cleveland to play. If Toronto could get a win in Cleveland, that series gets really interesting.
Absolutely. If they're able to steal one of those first 2 in Cleveland, it puts the pressure all on the Cavs. The home court advantage really could be a big deal in that series. Katie, I know that you're in Toronto. You cover the team. You know them well. You're also a Raptors fan. I'm a Cavs fan here. We're going head-to-head in this first-round battle. Give me your prediction, though. What do you really think it's going to happen? Who's going to prevail in the series and how many games?
This is tough. It is tough because a part of me understands that this is ahead of the trajectory that Toronto saw themselves in. I think they thought a play-in at the beginning of the season. So this is great for them because it puts them ahead of their own schedule. The fan in me obviously wants to see them, take this as long as they can. And I think that would be a win in some ways. The realist in me, I think the Cavs will pull through. They kind of need to pull through, especially this group, right? Because this might be their last go around, if not. So I will pick. This is heartbreaking. I will pick the Cavs in this one.
Yeah, good. All right. Producers, send me that clip and send it all over Toronto. You heard it here first. Can't wait for that matchup. Cavs, Raptors. Guess what, Katie? I'm picking the Cavs too. But I'm going to be sweating it out. Game 1 at home. Cleveland's got to take care of business at Rocket Arena. We are taking care of business here on the association. Still another hour coming your way as we look all around the league and get you ready for the NBA postseason. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back, and go Cavs.